Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mr. Funk. I apologize. I'm not able to be there in person. I coach the girls' varsity tennis team, and unfortunately, we have a match right now, which is really sad because I generally do enjoy being there and kind of meeting families and seeing where these kids are all coming from. So I apologize. This is kind of weird for me to do this on a video screen. But I'm in my STEM room right now, and we'll just do the best we can. So my goal is that this is about 5 or 6 minutes long, and then after that, you can kind of just take a tour of the classroom. Please don't take any of the robots with you, but you can kind of see I have a bunch of the stuff that we'll be using throughout the school year. So whether you're in 5th or 6th grade. So this is a 5th or 6th grade encore class, and it is STEM. It stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. The neat thing is kids have come from elementary school from STEM, and so they kind of understand this whole design process. And the neat thing is I'm going to see your kids, unfortunately, only for one marking period, but I'll see them every other day for 72 minutes. And it just allows us to dive into some pretty complex projects that you can't really fit into a half an hour window. So a little bit about me. My name is Mr. Funk. I've been teaching at Mannheim now for 11 years. Oh, wait, 9 years. 9 years. I've been teaching for 13 years overall. And this is the third year that STEM has been offered at the middle school level. I have 4 daughters, and my wife and I, we love Mannheim Central. We live in the school district, and I think this is a great place to work. So I think your kids are in good hands. 5th and 6th grade teams are great, and I think they're just going to have a really, really good year. So let's move on here. I don't want you to think about STEM as science, technology, engineering, and math. Yes, that is what it is, but your kids are going to hear these 4 words from me all marking period long: critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication. We call these 21st century skills because these are the skills that future employers are looking for. You know, they talk to like Apple CEO, Google, Facebook CEO, and these big companies, and they said, hey, what are you looking for in your employees? And almost none of them, you know, talked about having the best grade point average, or writing the best essay, or having the best math SAT score. All of those things are important. They're good. But almost every one of these CEOs said, hey, we want young adults that can think for themselves. We want young adults that are creative and can take risks. We want people that can work together, regardless of their opinions about certain things. And we want people that are well-spoken and that can communicate and that can display proper body language. So my class is really about diving into these 4 C's and trying to make your kids better learners, better people, better students, really just better thinkers. That's kind of what it's all about. Let's face it. All right. We all have these cell phones now, right? You know, and everything is so easy with laptops and iPads and cell phones. And unfortunately, they have made us all a little bit dumber. All right. I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's just, you know, at home, when I didn't know the answer to something, I used to like actually think about it for a while, you know, let my brain work. Now I instantly get my phone out and I ask Siri, or I Google it, or my kids have already done that. So this class, I'm going to put your kids into situations that they can't Google their way out of. You know, they might have to build a marble tower out of blocks, and they have to get the ball to maintain a certain speed on that marble tower or last a certain number of seconds. You know, no amount of Google research is going to really help them in that environment. So they're going to have to rely on their team. They're going to have to rely on their brains to get through these projects. So this is kind of what I want your kids to think about. Really in my class, all right? First of all, I'm going to start with the very, very bottom bullet there. I want them to have a blast. I want them to have lots of fun. I want this to be the best part of their day. I really, truly do. All right. I consider myself to be a pretty fun teacher. I also have extremely high standards for your kids in class. All right. When they show up to STEM, it's not playtime. It is intense learning time. And we just happen to have a whole bunch of educational toys around. All right. So I have very, very high standards for your kids. I don't ever want them to give up. I don't ever want them to tell me they're finished. They constantly should be able to improve. I want them to take risks. I want them to be able to get that creative energy flowing. I want them to work well together. In my class, if they don't work well with someone and you want to email me and say, hey, Mr. Funk, these two need to be separated, there's a good chance I'm going to make them work together more often because in the real world, guess what? You don't get to pick and choose every time who you get to work with. I want your kids to display effort all the time. Kids are never allowed to come up to me and say, Mr. Funk, I'm done or I'm bored. Again, we have a room full of educational materials and toys that they get to just dive into. So each and every day, we're going to just be going through the engineering by design process and going through just project-based learning. All right. Rarely in my class will your kids get their laptops out. All right. They're on their laptops all the time. Math class, LA time, just all the time. Right. All right. Too much technology can be a bad thing. And so in my class, I actually want them to be working through without their laptops. Last slide here. Okay. Again, you might say, well, how do you score? How do you grade kids when you're kind of focusing on these 4 C's? Well, to my right here, to the right side of the screen, you can see this is my Makey project rubric. You can see I grade kids on critical thinking, on creativity, on communication and collaboration, and on work completion. Did they actually complete the allotted amount of work? The kids won't receive letter grades from me, A, B, C, D's, or F's. I don't want them focused on that. This is really, really hard for my really good studious kids because they want to know, Mr. Funk, is this an A? Well, no, because I don't give A's. They'll get a satisfactory and unsatisfactory end of the course. But more importantly, I'm going to let you know how your kids did. How creative were they? How did they communicate verbally and non-verbally? How do they work well with others? How did they take time to problem solve and critically think? And did they complete their work and was it accurate? All right. So at the end of the marking period, they will receive this report card from me to the left. And each and every project, I kind of take those elements and break it down in different ways. Your kids will be doing all kinds of things from Barbie Bungee to programming robots to maybe working with Connects, maybe solving problems, maybe talking about renewable energy. Again, it's a blast. I hope it's one of the best parts of their day. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email's on the front board, and I just look forward to working with your kids this year. I think they're going to love it. And take the last few minutes, I went a little overboard, just to walk around the room, check out the 3D printing studio, check out the educational toys. Don't take anything with you, but yeah, that's about it. Wish I could be with you. Take care, and we'll see your kids next week.